So guys, today the story of the red eyes in the woods. But first I'd like to show you something because it relates. So take a look at this. So this is part of a longer video that I'm going to be doing, red eyes in the woods, but I thought I would show you this first. Pretty cool, eh? So, what you're looking at here is a short sword that's about 550 years old. And I got this short sword when I was in Honduras, and apparently it came over with Columbus. This has been proved by a museum and also a sword maker, a knife maker. So two experts have looked at this blade. Some things about it. Now I know that I'm holding it where I shouldn't be. I'll clean it this evening. You're never supposed to put your fingers on a blade if you're a blade person. So the Gillian, at the ends of the Gillian, these were supposed to be probably acorns, carved as acorns, but over the years they're worn off and there's no detail there now. They're pretty smooth. The handle that looks like wood is actually not wood. It's actually water buffalo horn, according to the expert that looked at this. They were doing a lot of that. The Spanish were doing a lot of that when Columbus came over to America. So this was not Columbus's sword. Obviously, this was one of his soldiers. He probably had a small buckler with it, but it did come over on one of his first or second voyages. And if you look very closely, I'll try to put it so we can see. Okay, look where the vent of the car is, the silver of the vent of the car. You can see a parry ding. And interestingly enough, on the other side, there are also parry dings. So he did backwards parrying. For those people who are sword people. In other words, he parried not only with the front of the blade, but he also parried with the back of the blade, because there's some parry dings there. I'll try to show you some images of this. So yeah, it's got patina on it, and I'm not going to take it and clean it. It should have had a pommel also, according to the experts that looked at this. Of course, that's gone. The balance is pretty good, and it is actually a real weapon at this point. I mean, you can still use it, but it's really interesting to take a look at this. Okay, so now let's talk about the red eyes in the woods. Okay, a little bit better look of the blade, just so you can understand. You're supposed to put your finger through here, keep it out from flying out of your hand. Works pretty good. Actually, you're not going to lose the sword that way. And these are the parry dings. Can you see them? I'm sure you can see both edges. Actually, hold on, let's get it focused again. So we have, there should be two on the leading edge. I'm seeing one and one across from each other. There should be another one that's smaller on the leading edge, which means it's blade-to-blade contact. But parrying with the back edge of the blade means that you are actually swinging backwards. It's much quicker than turning the blade around. A novice would block here and then block like this. That's a novice. But a sword fighter would actually block, and then if a blade was coming, he would just go up. You see, pretty cool stuff. So it actually has battle damage. And here's one other really interesting thing. Obviously, the Gillian and the tang was made so that it goes directly down into the handle. You can see here's the handle, and you can see that obviously that when the sword was made, it was much wider. but because they sharpen the leading edge so often that it's actually played back quite a bit from the center point, which would be here. So, you know, if it was actually, it would probably end somewhere where the thumb, my thumb ends now, if it was new. So it was a wider blade, and it's been sharpened down. It was probably used, they probably used it hacking foliage out of their way in Honduras when they came, maybe killing some natives. Interesting. And then the expert, one of the experts that looked at the blade, told me that it could have very easily been adopted by a pirate afterwards. And obviously, Honduras was the first place that was touched by Columbus when he came over. It's the first mainland he touched. So that's where the blade was found. It could have easily been used by a pirate also. Yeah, it's possible. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Still very usable as a weapon. Anyway, cool. Thanks. Thanks for coming along. Hope this was interesting and fun. I'll see you in the next long video about red eyes in the woods. Have a good day.